Once upon a time, there was a beautiful girl named Cinderella who lived in a far-off land with her father, stepmother, and two ugly stepsisters. The stepmother and the stepsisters were very selfish and used to torture Cinderella. She had to do all the housework while her stepsisters spent their time on bed, always complaining. One day, an invitation came from the king's palace. Every young girl in the kingdom was invited to a ball dance. But Cinderella's selfish stepsisters kept her so busy helping them get ready for the ball that she had no time to make a dress for herself. Anyway, she had no decent dress to speak of, far less a dress fit for a ball. Her stepmother insisted that Cinderella should stay at home to clean the house and cook after they had left. The sisters, dressed in their finest gowns, laughed at Cinderella because she had no fine dress and could not go to the ball. Poor Cinderella began to cry and run out into the garden. She was unhappy and lonely. Now Cinderella had a fairy godmother of whom she did not know. She now appeared before the weeping girl and said, "I am your fairy godmother. I will see that you go to the ball if you do what I say. First, bring me a yellow pumpkin." Cinderella brought a large yellow pumpkin and then her cage of little white mice. The fairy godmother waved her wand. Like magic, the pumpkin was changed into a golden coach, and the white mice became horses and footmen for the coach. "Now," said the fairy god, "you need a gown for the ball. You shall be the most beautiful girl there." Once again the fairy godmother waved her magic wand, and Cinderella was dressed in the loveliest gown she or anybody else had never seen. On her feet were a pair of tiny glass slippers. Cinderella's fairy godmother wished her a wonderful time at the ball. "But remember," she said, "that at the stroke of midnight spell will end. You must be back home by then." Then she waved her wand and disappeared. Cinderella rode through the streets in her golden coach. When she arrived at the palace, the footman helped her down. She could hear music and laughter coming from the ballroom. She went up the stairs. Every lady in the kingdom was dressed in her finest clothes. But when Cinderella arrived, she was by far the most beautiful girl. Neither the king nor queen nor anyone else there knew who the beautiful girl was. No one had never ever heard of Cinderella except her stepmother and stepsisters, who they thought she was at home. The prince rushed to meet Cinderella. They danced together all the evening, and in no time the two fell in love. Suddenly, the clock began to strike 12. Without a word, Cinderella left the prince and dashed out of the ballroom and down the palace stairs. As she ran, she lost and left behind one of her little glass slippers. But she did not stop. She hurried to her coach and reached home just as the clock finished striking. At that very moment, the magic ended. The coach, the horses, the footmen, and the beautiful dress all disappeared. No one knew who the beautiful girl was. The prince wanted to marry her and decided to search every house in the kingdom to find her. He sent his most trusted messenger to look for her. The entire kingdom was in a state of excitement. The prince's messenger sent from house to house with the little glass slipper to see whose foot it would fit. Every girl in the land, even Cinderella's stepsisters, tried had it on, but no one could wear it. When the messenger saw Cinderella scrubbing the floor, he asked her to try it on. The stepsisters laughed, but Cinderella's foot slid smoothly into the tiny glass slipper. The stepsisters could not believe their eyes. The search was over. The messenger had found the girl who had been the prince's partner the night before. He sent a message to the prince immediately. The prince arrived without delay. He recognized Cinderella at once and asked her to be his bride. Soon they were married. Cinderella was the most beautiful princess that had ever lived in the palace. The cruel stepmother and stepsisters begged Cinderella to forgive him, which she did. Cinderella and the prince began their new life together and lived happily for many long years.